Alright, what's up guys? Brian here, and this is my WWE Monday Night Raw review for last night's episode of Raw, and there was only two things that I would recommend checking out if nothing else on last night's episode. Number one was we started off Raw with Braun Strowman, the Monster Among Men, who came out, talked about what he did last week, talked about the Royal Rumble. Kurt Angle, the general manager of Monday Night Raw, came out with a bunch of security guards, got into the ring, told Strowman that what he did last week to both Kane and Brock Lesnar, where he attacked both of them while they were brawling backstage, and then using a grappling hook to pull one of the pieces of the backstage set down on top of them. Kurt Angle told Strowman that he put a lot of people in the crossfire. He put a lot of people in a unsafe work environment, and that basically, to make a long story short, he fired Braun Strowman, saying that Strowman is fired. He's not going to be in the triple threat match at the Royal Rumble. This made Strowman mad, and if you want to see one of the most funniest, I wouldn't even say it's funny, but one of the most, I'll say funny segments of Raw is Strowman just demolishing anything and everyone and everything that got in his way. He beat up security. He trashed Kurt Angle's office. He he went into the catering area. Poor Kurt Hawkins got chokeslammed through a table. He was flipping over tables. There was a guy that came into the catering area with a cake, and Strowman grabbed a piece of it and ate it. And the guy just stood there like, oh God, like, I'm scared. So, there was some others. I'm trying to think what other, he disengaged the trailer from the production truck after going through the production truck, scaring at all the workers in there, basically saying, what does this do? How do I shut down this show? And then he disengaged the truck part from the trailer and flipped it to its side. Then he would end up coming back into the arena, an entranceway. He then would look over at this being Strowman, and he looked over at the commentator's table, basically went to the commentary table, grabbed Michael Cole, threatened to throw him off the ramp, and then Kurt Angle came out and said, wait, Braun, stop. That Stephanie McMahon, the commissioner of Monday Night Raw, called him and said that Strowman was rehired and back in the triple threat match at the Royal Rumble against Kane and Universal Champion Brock Lesnar. Strowman went to leave. He stopped and then grabbed Michael Cole and threw him off of the stage onto some of the security guards that were standing there. So that was a pretty funny set of segments. Just seeing, Strowman, basically just mad after being fired and just going after everyone and everything in his way was pretty funny, and one of the good things about Raw last night. The other good thing about Raw was the main event. In my opinion, it was Finn Balor taking on Seth Rollins. Of course, this came about because of what happened last week, where Rollins got pinned by Balor in a 6-man tag. basically, you had Jason Jordan, Seth Rollins' tag team champions partner. In his corner, you had Gallows and Anderson in Balor's corner. It was a pretty good match. The ending saw Sheamus and Cesaro getting involved. You know, Jason Jordan helping Rollins to pick up the win. Rollins using the curb stomp, but now it's being called the blackout on Finn Balor. That's how Balor won. And what was, like I said, a pretty solid main event for last night's Raw. We found out that Bill Goldberg is going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. So some of the other matches that took place, we had Titus Worldwide, Titus O'Neil, and Apollo Crews once again pick up a victory over the Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro. This time with the help of Jason Jordan. We saw Cedric Alexander defeat Tony Nese, building momentum into going into his Cruiserweight Championship opportunity at the Royal Rumble. Asuka won via stoppage over Nia Jax after Nia was walking up the stairs, walking up the steps outside of the ring. Asuka kicked her where she landed and hurt her knee and hurt her leg, and she could not put any weight on the leg, so the referee called for the bell and stopped the match, so Asuka won that one. The Revival, they won their tag team match. They then made comments about some of the legends. Of course, next week is the 25th anniversary of Raw. Honestly, this is going to lead to them getting their butt kicked by a bunch of the legends. So that was pretty much it on that. Roman Reigns defeated The Miz Taraj, Bo Dallas, and Curtis Axel. Of course, Roman is going to be defending his Intercontinental Championship next week at the Raw 25th anniversary against The Miz. Let's see. Sonya Deville of Absolution picked up a big victory over Sasha Banks. Of course, as far as the Women's Royal Rumble is concerned, Paige is out, and her in-ring career looks like it's over, as reports have been saying that she was informed last week at Raw that she's not going to be medically cleared to compete anymore. So it looks like her in-ring career is over. Let's see. Woken Matt Hardy, he defeated Heath Slater. And then, of course, Seth Rollins defeated Finn Balor in a tremendous main event. One side note on next week's show, 25th anniversary show for Raw, is that apparently they're going to be doing the first hour from the Manhattan Center, where Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler are, I believe is what they said, is Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross are going to be returning as commentary in Manhattan, and then the other 2 hours are going to be at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. So that should be interesting to see what happens with all the legends and the names that they've announced. They did announce women that are going to be appearing, like the Bella Twins, Kelly Kelly, Tori Wilson, Maria Kanellis, Jacqueline, Terry Runnels, Michelle McCool will be also appearing there, as well as The Undertaker, DX, Stone Cold, The Rock, even Chris Jericho, who is currently working for New Japan. He will be making an appearance next week on Raw at the 25th anniversary. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next week. But my overall thoughts on last night's Raw, I mean, with only the exception of that whole Braun Strowman segments, and that main event. It was really nothing exciting about last night's Raw. I maybe give it maybe a 2.5 out of 5 stars. I mean, maybe even just a 3 out of 5. I mean, because those two things for me, I thought were pretty exciting to see. Strowman just destroying everything and everybody in his path, and then because he got fired and then he gets rehired, so that whole segment, those segments, and then the Rollins and Balor main event, I thought was pretty good. Anytime those two get in the ring together, they always put on a great match. And it was good to see the curb stomp making a return for Rollins' finishing move. So will he be able to use that going further? We'll have to see. But he used it last night to win his match against Finn Balor. So, yeah, pretty much. I mean, those were the only two things about last night's Raw that I thought were things that I would recommend checking out. If you guys watched last night's Raw, let me know what you guys thought of it in the comments below. My thoughts, like I said, those were the whole Strowman segment and the Balor and Rollins match. I thought were the only two good things coming out of last night's Raw. So with that being said, this has been my Raw review for last night's episode of Monday Night Raw. As always, I am Brian, and thank you for watching.